Very good morning to all of you. My dear fellow Indians, I express my happiness and excitement in celebrating our Independence Day. And as someone said, true independence is when each of the citizen of the country feels independent. So, keeping that spirit, I would like to acknowledge one eminent fraternity of it. Um, we have gathered today to inaugurate the Women in India uh, organization. The main objective of this organization will be to acknowledge and promote our women who has contributed in the date. It's the auspicious occasion of Independence Day. And along with that, I have two reasons to say to this. One, of course, the Independence Day, because we wanted to say like independency of women who are working in the nuclear sector should be aligned with the independence of our country. And along with that, the second reason which I wanted to be on this date is the it's my mom's birthday. She always taught me that you should respect all the women and you should encourage them to do what they want to do. So, with that spirit, I pass it on to Dr. Mary, who will now introduce with you with the society, with the organization, and with the board of it. So, over to you, Dr. Mary. Thank you.
A very good evening and a very happy Independence Day to all of you. I hope you can hear me. Okay. So it is my pleasure indeed to be part of this inaugural program. And I will appraise you a little bit about this association as such to begin with. And then afterwards, I'm going to introduce to you the board of members of what we now call is as the Women in Nuclear India chapter. The Women in Nuclear is a global international not-for-profit organization, and it was founded in 1993. And the objectives of this organization was to promote and encourage women in as well as into the nuclear field. And this is a field where very few people, even men, do take part, leave alone the women. So the idea is to make it more open and available for women to get into this nuclear field, be it nuclear energy or the applications, enormous applications in medicine and industry. Many people may not be aware of it. So that is the objective of this international organization. It has till date more than 35,000 members and spanning across 109 countries and are already about 32 chapters. Now, what is a chapter? There are members, I told you 32,000 of them. They are all distributed, but it is up to the members of each country to form a chapter of their own so that they can work independently and then connect with each other. So we have not had any chapter for the Indian members, although I guess now there are more than 60 of them. And it is high time that ever since in 2005, I was asked to be a representative for India. And I've been trying hard to form this chapter, but in vain, I should say. So it's after about 15 years, it's a dream come true. So with these few words, rest of it, you can always go and look into the website of Win Global. And now we have launched our own website. And so we hope to chat and interact more often with each other. So let me now, in the time given to me, start introducing the eminent women who are in this board. I must congratulate Dr. Singh for his selection and for the arrangements in this very short period of time. So let me start with introducing our scientist, uh, Dr. Uma Shankari Kannan. I don't know if you can just raise your hands and then say a hello so that you can be identified. Not sure if that's possible. In any case, Dr. Uma Shankari Kannan is an eminent scientist from the Baba Atomic Research Center, and she currently heads the Reactor Physics Design Division of PRC. She has over 34 years of experience, and I'm sure she will be a vital person to guide us. Welcome, Madam, to this board of members. Next, I am happy to introduce Dr. Manpreet Sethi. Welcome to you. Dr. Sethi is a distinguished fellow at the Center for Air Power Studies, New Delhi, and she heads the program on nuclear security. Being an expert in this field, she has authored several books and monographs, and she's actively participating in conferences and lectures on nuclear security. Thank you, Dr. Sethi, for accepting this role. I'm now taking the pleasure of introducing Dr. Alpana Goel. She's currently the director of MIT Institute of Nuclear Science and Technology, one of the very few private universities which is offering a course in nuclear engineering. So she has several years of experience, expertise in nuclear engineering, and she has published several papers in journals, and she has also authored books on the subject. And she also holds membership in many prestigious associations. Welcome, madam. I'm also happy to introduce Mrs. Manju Gupta, and I welcome you to Win India board. Mrs. Gupta has over 35 years of experience in the design, procurement, construction, commissioning, and operation of nuclear power plants. She works for the reputed Areva as Director of Business Development at Mumbai. Welcome to you, madam. I'm happy to introduce Mrs. Archana Yadav. She's the one person I have been contacting with for quite some time because she was instrumental in establishing a Facebook web page for Win India way back in 2012. Ever since then, I've been in contact with her. But unfortunately, we couldn't end up with this chapter. So I'm happy that she's there now as a member of the board. I welcome Mrs. Kritika Kaur, who is a nuclear engineer by profession, and she works as a technical manager and a radiological safety officer at Nuvia, India, a firm specializing in the development and installation of nuclear instruments for detection and measurements. Welcome to you, Mrs. Kaur. We have then Dr. Jyoti Gupta, who is a research scientist with over 7 years' experience in the study of nuclear materials, in the characterization, testing, and corrosion of nuclear materials. She is currently stationed in London. Welcome to you, Dr. Gupta. And last but not the least, Dr. Nitendra Singh, the man behind the launch of this women's organization. But for him, I'm sure this is not a reality. For me, it is a dream come true. Thank you, Dr. Singh. Dr. Singh is president of Indian Youth Nuclear Society, and it is under the auspices of this society that we are launching this chapter of WIN. He is a nuclear engineer by profession with a variety and wide range of activities. So I hope we have introduced all the members now, and the mic to the next, maybe Dr. Singh.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for this kind introduction. I think this is the dream come true for all of us. We started in 2012, you started in 2005, but I think India is already waiting for it for past 27 years now. So, but it's okay. There's always a fresh start, and I think we'll make it as a fresh start. I would now like to introduce you to our chief guest for this event. We have Dr. Grover with us. He is the Indian nuclear scientist, a very eminent face of Indian nuclear industry, I must say. Um, he's the member of Atomic Energy Commission in India. And he is also the founder of Homi Bhabha National Institute, which is one of its kind university, or I must say one of its kind research university in our country. And he's also the fellow of Indian National Academy of Engineering, and also the World Academy of Art and Science. I think uh, he had so much accolades to his name that we need one entire session dedicated for him. Holding so many key positions in the department on various capacities. He's been awarded with Padam Shri in 2014. So I would now like to request Sir to uh, enlighten us with his gracious word and mark this launch as a day of the event, at the event of the day. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Nitin. And it's a very good initiative. When you wrote to me a few days back about the launch of Women in Nuclear and today's function, I found it, yes, it's a good initiative. In my opinion, having a dialogue with public is very important, and it is something which we have to keep doing individually as well as part of appropriate collectives. I look at WIN as an appropriate collective to convey evidence-based information to the public. Therefore, when you called me, when you sent me an email, I immediately agreed to participate in today's function. And I particularly like this abbreviation WIN, and with this abbreviation, I am sure you are going to win in your endeavor. I look at this composition of the first board of directors. All of you are very active professionals, and I have come across many of you during my professional career, and I'm sure that you will be able to convey correct information to the public in a manner that is easy to understand. I will use the opportunity to speak to you today to provide some information which some of you may not be knowing. I was looking at the website of WIN Global and note that women professionals working in industries related to both energy and radiation applications are their members. The explicit mention of radiation application is very appropriate, as many do not realize that radiation applications contribute a lot to economy of a country. It is so because such applications are numerous and cover diverse fields such as healthcare, agriculture, industry, and research. Surveys done by IAEA indicate that their contribution to GDP and employment is as significant as that of nuclear electricity generation. Specific reports on surveys done in the USA and South Korea are available in public domain. I have nudged a group of young persons in BARC to take up such a study, and if they complete it, we will have data about the extent of use of radiation application in India as well. Importance of electricity generation by nuclear technology is well known, and as more and more studies are being done, one is coming to know more of its advantages. We are living in a carbon constrained world, and increasing carbon emissions are leading to global warming. The sooner global community addresses it, the better it will be for us and our planet. Given India's energy resources, the electricity mix has to include solar, wind, hydro, and nuclear to meet the imperative of decarbonization. In the ongoing general discourse on the use of renewables for generation of electricity, an impression has been created that electricity from solar and wind will be very cost competitive. This impression is the result of two technicalities. One is the use of a wrong metric, that is levelized cost of electricity generation for comparison. And the second is due to not explicitly bringing grid level costs in the general discourse. Grid level costs arise from the fact that electricity is generated by a power plant, and to reach consumers, it has to pass through a transmission and distribution network. The consumer end cost of electricity is not the same as the generator end cost due to the transmission and distribution system that lies between the two. This metric levelized cost of electricity generation is simple and easy to use, but it compares generator end costs. It's equal to, by definition, lifetime cost divided by lifetime energy production. It provides a good basis for comparing technology options having different lifespans, but it was devised long before the advent of intermittent renewables, therefore has no parameter to account for intermittency. When aiming to integrate intermittent renewables to grid, continued use of LCOE as a metric for comparison of technology option is erroneous. LCOE tends to overestimate the economic efficiency of renewables, and extent of overestimate increases with increase in penetration. There is another aspect about which awareness is not as widespread as it should be. This is the net energy gain to society from a source of energy. In 1970s, this was expressed in terms of life cycle assessment of energy flows, and now it is expressed in terms of the ratio energy return over invested and abbreviated as EROI. To get energy from any resource or to process or convert it before use and to transmit or transport it to the consumer, one has to spend energy. Energy for society or energy gain is the difference between the output and input energy. As EROI falls below about 6, there is a steep fall in energy gain on energy which is available to society, and you can compare it to any business where you invest money and to get some money. The profit is something which is the difference of the two. Same thing in case of energy systems. Difference between output and input energy is what the energy gain to the society is. A low EROI implies that size of the energy enterprise, that is requirement of energy resources, manpower, materials, land, etc., is very large, and so is the effect on environment. There is a kind of this field is still evolving. there is a difference in methods of estimation, and there are some systemic issues and which people are trying to resolve. But irrespective of difference in details, there is agreement that technologies like fossil fuels, large hydro, nuclear, and wind have high EROI, while solar is about the point where there is a steep fall in energy gain to society. With the depletion of energy resources, EROI of oil is falling rapidly. And this fall is very rapid. If we go back 100 years ago, when the first oil was located in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh, EROI of the resource was as high as 120, and we are talking of tight oil, EROI is below 10. You can see the difference over the years because all the rich resources have already been exploited. EROI is an important tool for energy economists to plan the electricity mix of a country. Energy economists opine that EROI of the society has to be above a threshold to support a modern economy. This can happen only when high EROI sources such as nuclear and large hydro and wind are a part of the energy mix. To sum up, nuclear has an important role to play in the energy mix of the country, and as members of the WIN and board of directors of WIN India, this is the message which you may consider conveying to the public as and when you get an opportunity. I think with this, I like to end here, and as Nitin told me that at the end website of has to be inaugurated. So over to you, Nitin, as to how to go about that inauguration.
I have already, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I have already shared the website. If you can see on your screen.
I'm seeing only a blank screen at the moment. Others are seeing it?
Maybe now.
Yes, now it's okay.
Yeah. So this is the website for WIN India, and Mrs. Archana will elaborate more on it. Over to you, Archana.
Good evening to one and all present here. This is the official website of Women in Nuclear India. So please subscribe and register with all those who are working in the nuclear sector on win-india.org.in. We have our social media handles as well. So we are available on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all three of them. On Instagram, we can be reached at Win India. So that's WIN India. It is named as Indian Women in Nuclear on the Facebook page, and under the aegis of Youth Nuclear Society on the YouTube channel. On Twitter, we can be found at Win India 5. So please subscribe, please share, and please follow us for the activities that will follow subsequently on this forum. We need your support to move ahead with our initiatives and to empower the women by and large. Thank you. Nitendra, can we move towards the formal conclusion?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I thank you all for being here, and I have this privilege and honor of presenting the vote of thanks for this short but a strong rendezvous with this elite panel. It is an honor to be sharing the stage with my esteemed panelists. We are moving towards the conclusion of this inaugural, and with all regards I thank our chief guest, Dr. Grover, member Atomic Energy Commission of India, for gracing this occasion with his presence and promoting the mission of empowering and recognizing women who have been contributing to this industry ever since the inception. Life is not a competition between men and women, rather it's a collaboration. These efforts strengthen when we have gentlemen like Dr. Grover and Dr. Nitendra Singh supporting us. Thank you, sir, for being here. Dr. Singh has been the guiding light and the torch bearer for this mission, and I'm sure with him along, we'll have a long way to go and many milestones to achieve. I extend my sincere gratitude to the entire panel for being a part of the team Win India. The momentum is already set with all the determined directors on board. There's a quote stating that behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. I'm quite confident that this forum, comprising of these brilliant minds, will be the pillar of support for many more women to rise higher and bring accolades to the industry. Behind every successful initiative stands a dedicated team who has worked day in and out for making this possible. Thanks to the entire team of Indian Youth Nuclear Society and their interns for this grand opening. I know for the past few days they have been working very hard and tremendous efforts have been put in to make it work. My best wishes to the entire team of IYNS and their brilliant interns. Thank you for being there. No matter where you are in life, inspire and empower women around you. Success is never reached alone, and wisdom and wealth are sweeter shared. So lastly, but equally important, are the patient eyes and ears who have been here with us for this inaugural. I thank the audience for joining us, for promoting us and acknowledging us. Your presence means a lot to us. This implies we have a lot to cover and much longer to go. So I request all of you to help us empower this forum, and to all the wonderful women out there who are part of our industry, please register and be a part of this marathon. We can be found at our website on win-india.org.in. Please register yourself. Memberships are open. For everyone else, please follow our social media handles. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you all. Have a great evening. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you.